Get Valiant 146. Eric had Bloodshot. We talked about Bloodshot if you saw that earlier. Yeah.
We always have no audio.
Yeah, what's the deal? We're not professionals. We just honestly are doing this because we love Valiant. So sometimes there are some
hiccups.
There's technical difficulties. That's what happens. But
well, our fourth person, Scott Bloom, he's always keeping us in check. And if we didn't have him, who knows? This whole thing might just go right down the rails.
Thank you, Scott. Thanks for jumping on with the live chat that we got going on, and we usually have going on often. So appreciate that, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So we got one thing that we forgot to talk about last week that I would like to discuss is we actually got to read another new issue than what we had discussed, which is we got to read Exo Manowar #1, which I mean, we can't really say a whole lot about it, but I just want to say that I really enjoyed it.
I would say that I liked it too, but one of the things is that it wasn't a completed issue, so there's still some. It wasn't like a finished product. That said, there were only a few pages that were colored, and the pages that were colored that were finished looked amazing. It'll be a really beautiful book when it comes out. I thought the story was good too. One of our members here probably didn't feel the same, and that's all right,
Yep.
I appreciate that kind of honesty,
Yeah, and it's not like it was a bomb. There was issues, right? I really thought that, like I was saying, that I liked the dialogue a lot, and I loved the art. This art was fantastic, dude. Like, that art looked amazing in this book. But there's some stuff I'm going to reserve those for later, because I don't want my opinions to affect everybody. I think it's EXO. It's one issue. I want to see the big picture of what happens and where this plans on going. And, judge this by its own character, by its own content that comes out with it. So, yeah.
Well, I think that I'm going to completely agree that this is an amazing looking book. I think this is just as good as what we were getting from Tomas Girello, and that's saying something. The page, everything that we've seen from this book so far is like, if you like the art that you've seen, you're going to love the art in the book, because that's exactly what it is. It's so consistent, and it's just dead on the entire time. So it looks phenomenal. And personally, I thought that everything about the story was perfect. I thought it was something that I loved about the Venditti run was the way he balanced this like over the top, huge, global level action with small personal moments. And I know Josh and I used to talk about that a lot when we would get pages where like you get some kids just trying to be kids in the middle of this war and stuff like those small moments that Venditti would do. This new one feels a lot like that to me. It feels a lot like, yes, EXO is dealing with crazy, all over the place stuff, but he's still just a guy who has a life that he's got to live, and he's got to figure things out like any of us do. And he's got maybe more issues that dealing with the modern world because he's time displaced. So yeah, I think that, I don't know, man, I think that this is a great book, and I really hope that moving forward from what we've seen so far, if this book maintains that level of quality, we're in for a ride.
We can't really talk too much about it, other than as much as I want to go into it, because Eric, John, and I, we all had discussions about this last weekend, I believe, and we were chatting a lot about this book.
Yeah.
So I think overall that's actually a good thing, because it's great to have conversations about this, and I feel like sometimes I don't get to talk enough about this stuff. It'll be interesting to see what the community overall thinks about it. I think it's a good product, and I always also feel that not everything has to be answered within the first issue. There are things that there are changes that might be happening here where if it gets explained, that's great. Just don't not explain it, I guess, But Awesome. It looks awesome. I mean, I think if nothing else, people are gonna be like, "Holy shit, this is a beautiful looking book." The colors really take it to another level. We'll just see where the story goes, but I like the story. But can't say much more about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As I was talking, I had to check myself. Like, how much have I said? No. Yeah. I think we'll probably have to move on from it.
Yeah, but
I just want to throw out like fake comments about it and be like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
the part where Darth Vader showed up?
Dude. Yeah, and then
I would have been like, that part where like Exo kills like that ex-member of Unity. Like, wait, what? No.
Right.
People would be like, "What the hell?" That doesn't happen. It doesn't happen at all. Okay. I'm just gonna say that right now because then Valiant would get mad at us. Be like, "What are you telling people this crap for?"
It's actually
don't say
the
that.
beginning of Stormbringer, so Operation Stormbringer's again coming at the door. So yeah.
Mhm.
So what little
Yeah.
thing happened this week that we got to see?
Oh my god. We got to see a new Bloodshot trailer. And there were 2 Bloodshot trailers that dropped. And there was the international and the domestic. Now, the domestic, if you saw the teaser where Bloodshot's arm gets put back together from nothing, which I think that shot's in this trailer, if you've seen that and you've seen the original trailer, you saw the domestic trailer number 2. I thought the international trailer number 2 was phenomenal. It was a lot more new stuff and looked super cool. What did you guys think about it?
I don't think I knew that there was 2 new trailers, like an international and a domestic. So I think I only saw the domestic one. So I have no opinion of the international trailer. I guess I'll be looking that up later.
Yeah. Well, let's look at this one that we got here and kind of see what we think and run from there.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that. I'm going to throw that on here and go from there.
We are leading the way in the greatest human advancement of all time. He's unlike anything we've seen before. And he's entirely in our control.
Commencing memory fabrication.
And initiate sequence. What happened? You got yourself killed. You have been given a second chance.
I've developed an army of soldiers like yourself. Improved, enhanced.
Welcome to the circus. The technology in your veins will make you faster, stronger, and heal you instantly. Something doesn't feel right. I've been manipulating you. Set the next target for elimination.
You are my weapon.
You made me, but you can't control me forever.
They'll come for you.
I'm looking forward to it.
Get in, Kenny.
No chance.
Oh, man.
Shit.
Yeah.
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 Awesome stuff.
That, I thought that we saw him way more that pale white that everybody wants to see, because that is what we expect from Bloodshot. We got that. We got the red eyes. We got,
We didn't get the toupee, though.
we didn't get what?
The toupee.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They
We didn't get Commander Bloodshot's beard. Come on, man.
Jeez.
That's what we need. He can stay bald. He just needs a beard. No,
Because you know there's gonna be a cutscene at the very end where he's in Russia and he's Commander Bloodshot. That's totally gonna happen.
So my favorite thing actually from this trailer is that it showed what looked like another guy in the chainsaw gear.
Yeah.
So to me, that means the chainsaw isn't just going to be one person. And that's fucking awesome. Because that was one of the things I thought was a little bit weird. And And if Chainsaw isn't just one person and Bloodshot is actually going to have to fight them all, then there's so much. I mean, that just opens so many doors of things that we have no idea. Like, there are entire characters that probably we haven't seen, we don't know. I cannot wait to see this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks cool. I mean, like, I think it gives people a little bit more of what they want to see, because there's been a lot of questions about whether you're going to see white-skinned Bloodshot with the red eyes, and this trailer gives you that. We knew, and I think if you don't look at the trailer on a phone, which was my problem the first time with the very first trailer, was on a phone I couldn't really tell. But when I watched it on my TV, you could see that there were shots where, like, his skin was a little bit more pale. It's nice to have it brought out completely right here, just for the people who are like, oh, they are trying to stick with it, you know. It doesn't matter if he has hair. Like, that argument just needs to go away. Like, who gives a shit? Okay, like, it doesn't. There's no story I've ever can remember with Bloodshot where, like, his hair played an important part.
Yeah.
So, I mean, God, who cares? If you don't like it, just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Imagine him with a hat. I don't know.
Yeah, and there's the other thing I'm also hearing is that Bloodshot, there's too much of the story being given away. And so it's like, okay, what story? That he's filled with nanites and he's going after PRS or RST and he figures out his mind's being controlled? I mean, isn't that Bloodshot? I mean, I don't think that's the story of the, that's his origin story, yes, which, yeah, that's given away, yes, it's his origin story. And I think there's more to it with these, Chainsaw and Rising Spirits, like, group of, army soldiers that they've built. The, the guy with the, Sam Hugan with his prosthetic legs, and kind of seeing where it goes from there. And then this KT with Eliza Gonzalez. There was some cool scenes with her doing some fight scene in there that I saw in there too that looked pretty awesome. So I'm interested to see how she comes out, what she ends up being, because I feel like she's going to be a bigger part to this story than what we believe as well. And then I think Scott put on there wanted to see more Axe, and it's interesting to see more Axe. There's another big name in this movie, Toby Kebbell, that we only see one quick scene and then that screenshot. So that leads me to believe there's a whole lot of story not being told. One of your bigger named actors that's been around a little bit barely got 2 seconds of screen time in the trailer. There's a lot to be seen, just enough to get his face out there, barely that. So I think there's going to be a lot to the story that we don't know, and I think that's cool. And then I wonder what was done with rewrites, because Dinesh did say that Ken Watanabe was being Toyo Harada, that they were planning on doing a scene there.
Yeah. I hate even thinking about that kind of stuff, because I know a lot of that stuff probably got changed because of the whole issue with Harbinger going to Paramount. You don't even want to think about, like, the what ifs, especially right now. I mean, like, for right now, my whole mindset is just, let's just see this Bloodshot movie. Let's just hopefully enjoy it. I feel like I will. It's the kind of stuff I like, but, I mean, I don't want to get into the thought of, like, well, it can't be good because they took out some things that shouldn't be in there. And obviously, Harada is a huge part. He should be a part of it. But for right now, just give me this movie. Let's see how it is. I think I'll like it how it is.
And
yeah, I feel like even if this ends up being a one-off, even if it doesn't lead to a Bloodshot sequel, if it doesn't lead to a Valiant cinematic universe, I'm just going to be happy if it's a good movie. And
right.
That's enough. Anything beyond that is a bonus.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I'm gonna try to, and I challenge everybody to not try to be too much of a homer with it. Or I don't want to say a homer, but be like the Star Wars fanboys that get mad when things not exactly how they want it and they kind of crap on it. I'm gonna be happy with this no matter what, and I gotta, I'm just pumped up. What I've seen, I know I'm gonna like it. Because it's one of my favorite characters on the big screen, and that makes me happy, right? But it's also like, if it's not exactly what I want, to know what that means. If hopefully people like it, and I'm going to allow them to like it. If you like it or love it, you're right. It's your opinion.
Yeah.
So.
I feel like if you're one of those fans who can't get past the fact that Vin Diesel's bald, you're probably going to find a lot of more things to just nitpick for no reason with the movie. Like, oh man, the gun should have this many bullets. Or I didn't like how he was holding a handgun, or like just weird little things, you know? And I mean, maybe like holding a handgun, maybe there is like some validity to it. I don't know. But just go in with an open mind. Just try to enjoy yourself, you know? Be a glass half full type of person, not the glass half empty.
And I might actually like that red circle he has now in the movie more than I do in the comic, to be honest. I think it's cool with that red glow in the chest. I think it makes a lot of sense. I loved it, so.
Yes. Okay.
I agree with that.
I am a huge fan of that. I think it looks cool as hell. So I'm down for that. Hopefully, it'd be cool if we still see the way it is on the action figure, where he's got, you know, like a shirt on and the circle in the chest or whatever. But even if we don't get that, whatever. But I think that would be cool to see as well. But I definitely think that the glowing is pretty badass.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So what other news did we get? Do we get other news?
We'll probably get solicits tomorrow, because that's kind of the way it works after the show for next month. So that usually comes out on Thursday. And we'll maybe be seeing what this Final Witness is my thought that we're going to have as the new book for next time. So next solicits.
That would be awesome.
Dope.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. Yeah, and then we have 2 books to review, right?
Mm-hmm. Right. It was a good week of books.
Yeah, we've got Rye number 3 and Bloodshot number 5. So we are going to get into spoilers. Hopefully you have read the books. If not, then you can always hit pause and go read them and come back, or you can just listen to the spoilers and then read the book afterward. But yeah, so Rye and Bloodshot, like Josh said, this was a really good week. I'm super stoked that we got both of these books.
Yeah, so one thing I wanted to point out, and I totally forgot about this, we had talked about this when we were setting up. It looks like starting this week, the top of the books all have a little banner at the top saying when the Bloodshot movie's coming out, 3/13/20. So it's a nice touch, just added to these books. You know, it shows Valiant's trying to promote the movie too. So kind of cool. It's cool to have that thing that we all get to kind of look forward to now within the books, or on the front of the books, I guess, at least. As far as this issue goes, so like a little recap, if you will. Rye is kind of like offline for some reason. Mm-hmm. And little Rye Jin is just like, wake up, Rye, there's robotic dinosaurs coming at us. And so little Rye Jin has to kind of save Rye, and then you find out that Rye has been hacked by Spylock. And from there, there's even more issues where, like, within this, like, can't remember what they phrase it as, but like within Rye, like his little internal system, he's being attacked by Father also. And while that's all happening, there's somebody who's trying to take them down on the physical side. So it was a pretty action-packed issue.
Yeah, it was super action-packed. It started right away with those dinosaurs, and then I thought the dialogue with Raijin basically just talking to himself, I thought that was really fun. I thought it was just silly. And then it was cool to see Lula. Yeah, I definitely think that this was another solid issue. Maybe not the insanely, surprisingly amazing issue number 2, but this was not what I expected. And I feel like something that hit me while I was reading this, I feel like this book is kind of taking less of a serial approach and more of an episodic approach. So, like, you could pick up any issue of this series and you get the idea that Rai and Raijin are on the run and some crazy shit's happening. And that's like, and each issue is kind of another series of crazy shit happening. So yeah, I thought that was, I think it's kind of cool. Like, not every book needs to be like written for the trade. It can be written as individual issues that do tie together. And I don't know. I liked that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I kind of been thinking with this so far in the 3 issues that we've gotten, is that it reminds me a lot of a level up video game so far, where you each part you go through each issue has been its own level. I do love the call of continuity with this, bringing back old characters, and then I think Raijin is turning into be like a fan favorite for a lot of people. They're really liking him a lot. And I mean, what have we not said about Rip's art? We love it. It's working great in this issue, this series. I've always liked it, but I'm really enjoying it here. And then again, Dollhouse's colors work well, so art team is still knocking it out the park. But really, again, Abnett carrying this story pretty well. And like you said, Eric, each issue seems like it's almost standalone to its point. But with some piece of carrying the story and the overarching story still coming along well. And a great week for books, and this was one of the starts to it. So.
Yeah, I love the fact that these are kind of written as their own individual issues. I think that's something that's kind of lost right now within modern comics. So much stuff is written for the trade. Not a lot of emphasis is put on just writing a single issue story that just done in one. I like this. It's great to have that, because I feel like with fans who want to try a book, you always have to be like, oh, find the first issue, get the other issues that follow it, or buy these trades. But with this one, I really do think that you could pick up on what's going on with any of the 3 issues that have been released, and just enjoy it for what it is. It's really easy to do that when you're writing a story that's just done in one. Another thing I really like about this, and I know you guys touched upon Little Raijin, I love his dialogue. I think his dialogue is written really intelligent, and it's just something a little bit. I just think it kind of pertains to how Dan Abnett he's got a wealth of writing experience. He's been writing novels. He writes a lot of different stuff. He's a very intelligent guy, and I just think it really comes across in the dialogue that the characters have. It's great seeing Spylock again. I love that Raijin, for not being a violent character, or a character who can't. I think he's not capable of doing like violent actions. He can take care of himself pretty well in really creative ways. So like with this issue, like summoning the dinosaur, I thought was awesome. And when that reveal happened in the issue, I just kind of got like a huge chuckle out of it. Like, it was awesome. So I don't know. It's hard to sit here and say like, well, it's not as good as that issue 2. But there's a lot of stuff that's not as good as that issue 2. But I think that this book, for the 3 issues, more or less has been really consistent. It's really been good. That second issue really was awesome. But I mean, this issue is pretty awesome too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like I said, it was totally unexpected. Like, I had no idea what to think coming into this issue, and I got hit with, the dinosaurs, and then Rai being comatose in a fugue state, and then that whole monster inside of his programming, and oh my god, so much. Like, it felt like this issue just kept coming with more and more crazy, unexpected things. So, very, very strong issue. For me, I will say, like, there is some little detail about Dollhouse's art that makes it imperfect for me. It's not bad, but there's, like, this thing that he does where he rounds faces out. I don't know how else to explain it than that, but it's always been, it's something he does a lot with, like, when he colors Portella, and
part of his
it's
shadowing that he does.
What's that?
Part of his shadowing with the colors, you think, that rounds it?
Yeah, I don't really know how to explain it exactly. It's just a weird thing that jumps out to me as like, that just looks the weird. I don't know. I'm not trying to focus on this one little thing. I'm just saying that's the only thing that's like imperfect about the art. Everything else about this art, the coloring is phenomenal. The line work is all perfect. Like, this is a great book. The writing, unexpected, fun, action-packed. This for me is a 4.5.
Yeah, I like with this one, I kind of bounced back between like a 4.25 and a 4.5. I really like this book so much, and I don't know, maybe I'll just go with like the top score and go 4.5 on it because I am really enjoying it. It's just near perfect. Everything about this series so far has just been near perfect, and now we're starting to see a little more involvement with Father in this. We're getting hints of Galad showing up in the next issue. I think one of the covers has Galad on it. It's like he's not even in the book, man.
Yeah.
Come on, what a tease! What a tease, man. And I thought the covers on this issue were just great. So, yeah, probably I'd say probably like a 4.5. This is good storytelling right here.
Yeah, all the way around, everything you guys said. Can't say it any differently. 4.5. It's a great book on the shelf, and I dig it. Again, the covers are awesome, like you said. I do think it's going to be fun years down the road when we're flipping through long boxes and you see that Vin Diesel Bloodshot strip on the top of a book. Yeah, I think that's kind of fun that we'll be able to recall that in this where we're at, or at least the movie. That's something that we're going to see a long time down the road, being comic fans, especially of Valiant, looking through Valiant boxes, that you will see that strip. So, kind of cool.
Yeah. I don't have any of the PDFs up in front of me. I didn't pick up books this week. But the cover that shows like half of Rye's body, and he's like got like his fingers pointing out, who did the art on that? That cover looks amazing.
I will get you that answer in just a minute. So, is that?
I know the one that's just his face is. It looks just like
looks like a
Raoul Allen.
That's what I was gonna say. That looks like a Raoul Allen, but I felt like it's somebody else. But
yeah, that one that's just Rye's face is Raoul Allen, which is a great cover. But yeah, the cover with him like
the green one, the green background that we've kind of used for the thumbnail here. Raoul Allen, Michael Walsh, Michael Walsh.
Awesome cover.
Yeah, and then Adam Polina's been doing really the gray ones.
Yeah. So Rye number 3, great book. Definitely a series that I think every Valiant fan should be reading. And even if you're not a Valiant fan, the great thing about this book is that it's the only one in that future continuity. So if you pick up this book, that's all you need to know. There's no crazy tie-ins. You don't need to buy 15 other titles to understand the story. You can, and because it's kind of being done as an episodic approach, you can pick up one issue, and you're probably going to enjoy it. So I mean, yeah. Great book.
Do we even need
it sounds like
talk about the next
Raijin summoning that T-Rex, that dinosaur, is kind of the most popular part of this book. And that totally, I did not see that part coming either, and I thought that was pretty awesome.
Yeah. And then the Dream State. The Dream State was really cool, too. So I didn't think I mentioned that. I did like how he was battling in the Dream State to try to get his body back up. I thought that was amazing writing, so I liked it.
Absolutely. So then, Bloodshot. We got to read Bloodshot number 5. Man, I really feel like this is the Bloodshot book that I want to be reading. Like, this to me is what a Bloodshot book should be. It looks like I want Bloodshot to look. It has, it's a good story. We're getting Bloodshot trying to, it's like he's accepted that he can't redeem himself, so he's trying to redeem somebody else. And it's the perfect kind of story that, that's what Bloodshot is about. Is that redemption and trying to be more than the killing machine that he was made into. And, I think that this encompasses all of those things really, really well. And he goes to a horror convention, and that's super fun.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so, I mean, this was a great issue, and one thing I really like about this is I kind of like the teaming up of him and the Burned.
Mm-hmm.
I like how they're training with him. Like that.
Yeah.
I love that scene where he can turn invisible with their technology. So like they trust him enough to kind of share their secrets a little bit with him, and they're just making him a better soldier. Which I don't know how much that will play out farther down the line. Like I don't know if we're gonna see a whole bunch of stuff where he's turning invisible or using a little more of these tricks, but I do really like the thought of him not just being like a straightforward killing machine, but putting some thought into how the nanites can work and how he can use other people's technology to benefit himself. Like that whole thing where I'm trying to think of how they explain it in the book, but he basically made everybody have like a weird trip by doing like some kind of sonic thing. I like that kind of stuff. It's making him more of a character by having these kind of options of things he can do. So I like that stuff. It was cool. And I like that he's totally like a sweet like metal bro with like a spiked jacket, and he just looks like such a rat. Like he went and busted off a bunch of Monster Energy drinks after that like horror convention.
And what about the call out with Jesse Fresco there, huh? The Bloodshot running into Bloodshot's cosplayer.
Well, I don't know if that's Jesse Fresco because that Bloodshot has hair. So
yeah.
I mean,
And he's a little bigger too, so yeah.
No, but that is cool, and that very much could be inspired by Jesse. Like all jokes aside, because Jesse is the Bloodshot cosplayer.
Right.
Yeah, I think that to me, in my mind, even though that rendition of a Bloodshot cosplayer might not look exactly like Jesse, as far as I'm concerned, in my head canon, that's Jesse.
Yeah.
I consider Jesse canon, and I thought that was really cool to put that in there, just because it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, man, I mean, this is such a great book. Like we got Bloodshot training with the Burned. We got him threatening to leave in order to get his way. And, I mean, he is going after Eidolon. And then that other character, did I miss something? I don't know who that other character is that shows up at the end and is, like, coming to take her back to her sister.
I kind of felt the same way, and it could have been that I just missed it.
No,
I could very much have missed it.
It looks like there was a baby waking up or whatnot looking for their sister. And I'm believing that there's more undercover factions here, kind of knowing Seeley's writing a little bit, that there's going to be a third faction that comes in. Or, yeah, you're going to have the Burned, you're going to have Black Bar, and then there's a new one that's coming to have kind of like an all-out type of war, all trying to pull from different directions, to pull different people. I think it's going to be really cool, this battle that they're going to have with Ray trying to get his target, to get her back, to kind of right his wrong that he's always tried to do, which is a good trope that Bloodshot has always tried to go with, is what he's related to. And he actually took her. She was a Psyot, like from the very beginning of Bloodshot in 2012, and it's still kind of that same trope, which I like. I love the factions. The Burnt is a cool idea. I'm liking the way it's working with that, having that intelligence piece is really cool. I've been kind of wanting something like that would give you, I mean, we get a little bit with Ninjak, but that 007, the new tech, the new toys is always a fun thing when it's kind of going to war. How's it going to be used? Like I think Josh was saying, I'm not sure how it's going to happen when he tries to go invisible there, but it's really good. Really, just digging all the way around these pieces of it. Him being at the con is hilarious, but yet it works, and just where they're going with it. The art is cool. It looks like Wolverine had a cameo in part of it, and and then the continuity of it, to have a cosplayer to be like, no, they know who you were because of Bloodshot USA, kind of sounds like they were referencing to, or Colorado, when people were in Colorado were going and mass murdering, and this is kind of like, this is why they're cosplaying you, because of this. I thought that was cool, like subtle continuity piece in there, and I feel like there's a lot more little continuity pieces in there while still being new and fresh and accessible. So.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that they reference in this issue his how Livewire controlled him and how badly he got beat by the Immortal Enemy. I thought that, having those references in there and saying, like, yep, this is still the same character who went through all of that. He still remembers it, and we know you remember it as fans. And this is, it's not, there hasn't been a reboot. And, I think that those little nods to continuity are cool. It ties everything together like a good rug. And I think that, man, the art in this book is so perfect. I really think that this is exactly how a Bloodshot book should look. I think that we're getting all of the elements that we should be getting from a Bloodshot book. For me, I'm honestly going to go with a 4.75 on this. This was a super, super strong week for books, and Bloodshot is just, for me as a Bloodshot fan, and getting exactly the kind of Bloodshot book I want to read, this slightly edges out even better than Rye was.
Wow. I'm going to be at about 4.5. I thought both books were about the same level of quality and entertainment. Bloodshot's just got so much going on. It's awesome. It makes me happy to see the changes that he's going through, these extra, like an extra power set, if you will, of things that he can do or that he's actually using that we haven't seen for a while. Mm-hmm. It just makes him more than just a gun. I like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm right there. I think all three of us had the same scores for both books, 4.5 for me again, too. It is a great Bloodshot book. It continues to impress, and like perfect timing for it too, right? Look at the header of that comic again. It's perfect timing, and I feel like, again, the accessibility right now is great while still having fan service continuity. And having continuity is not always a bad thing for brand new fans. It makes them look at other things, try to find things more, and possibly read those back books with Lemire and Straczynski and Hardcore, all of it. So digging it. So yeah, great week for books.
I want to say, like, I completely agree. Having, especially the way this book is approaching having that continuity, I think, like, it's not hitting you over the head with it. It's not forcing you to know everything that's come before in order to understand what's going on, but it is giving you those references to these things that have happened before that, like you said, Hooser, can make a new fan say, wow, that must have been crazy, whatever Livewire and the Immortal Enemy did to him, so I want to find out where that happened and go check that out. And that just opens up the whole Valiant universe and shows that it is larger, than some people might think it is. And, yeah, this is a perfect time to have a great Bloodshot book. I think they're doing these 3-issue trades, so the second trade is going to be out by the time the movie comes out, and that's going to be a really, really good place for people to be able to jump on. Get Volume 1, get Volume 2, and then while you're waiting for this series to continue, you have time to go back and read a lot of other really badass Bloodshot books.
So, since I've been commenting on covers, I just want to say I really like the cover where he's holding up his hands, like his bloody hands. They almost look like weird red boxing gloves. And I don't like the pre-order edition cover. I don't know. The pre-order edition cover, he looks like he's just mopey.
The bloody hands with a cat in the background and fireworks. It's a little bit much.
I think there's a baby being thrown up in the air too in that one.
It's a baby. I thought it was a cat. So.
Is it a cat?
I don't know.
I'm waiting for it to come back around.
I want to say
it's a cat. It's a cat.
Yeah. I want to say that
I'm hoping it's that cat from the Faith series. Okay, that's the rumor I'm starting. It's that cat, the Psyop cat.
The bottom right corner, I think it's a girl on her boyfriend's shoulder showing her boobs. So.
Wow, that's a fun cover. I want to say, like, I don't usually like Tim Sale, honestly. Like, I'm not a huge fan of Tim Sale. But I actually really dig that pre-order cover that he did. I think it's one of my favorite things I've seen from him. So I'm on board. I'm on board with that one.
Well, he's
usually not digging it. I think the one he did, the number 1 cover he did was awesome, but I'm not digging that one.
Yeah, we're opposites on that.
It's okay. We can disagree.
Yeah, 100%.
Yep. I'm lukewarm with both of them, so yeah. I actually really like the A cover this time around. The Shelby cover looks great, considering he's at first I was wondering what the heck is this clown and this stuff in the background, and then figuring out he's at a horror con. That's a freaking great cover right there, actually. And then he's got like the burned mask. I really dig the A cover this week, so.
Yeah, I think most of the Shelby covers have been great. I just didn't really dig the first one. I just think it was a little too bland for a book relaunch.
The one right behind you?
The rest have been great.
Yeah, if you gave me that cover he did for Bloodshot #1 on any other issue, I would have had no problem with it. But yeah, because there have been a ton of his covers that would have been great for issue #1, especially that issue #2 one was great, and they used that for the trade. That was an awesome cover, and I mean, I don't know. Yeah, lots of good ones.
Yeah.
So yeah, awesome week in books. We all scored 4.5 or higher on both of the books that we reviewed. My 4.75 on Bloodshot being the only outlier.
But I feel like that's part of the course. You know.
Yeah.
Eric loves Bloodshot. Probably a little as much as I want to say I'm a huge Bloodshot fan. I totally will give in and say that Eric is probably a bigger fan than I am, and that's all right. So if he wants to go bigger on it, that's cool with me.
Yeah, I absolutely love that issue.
If he actually gives it under a 4, then we need to worry. It might not be a good book.
Yeah. When Eric starts bitching about the book, Valiant, you better watch out. I wanted to comment from the live chat. Scott was saying that the cat that was in that cover is named Blood Cat. I like that. We need a whole family of Bloodshot-related animals, like how Superman and Batman have them in the Silver Age.
Yeah, absolutely. And Bloodhound was still the best Bloodshot, so.
We have Bloodhound, Bloodcat. So in Santa Fe, New Mexico, there's this old person who's been there forever. They have a dog with a cat on top of the dog with a mouse on top of the cat, like in their old town. So they should like redo that. Be kind of fun. With all Bloodshot though. Blood Mouse.
Blood Mouse.
Yeah.
Bloodhound, Bloodcat. Yeah, dude.
Blood Horse.
Oh.
Why not?
Yeah.
You know, when you got long journeys and you want to take a long time to get there, Blood Horse. Worst case scenario, eat them. Protein.
Yeah. A lot of steroid and horse meat, though, isn't there?
I don't know about that. Bloodhound is the goodest Bloodshot.
The goodest.
Yes. So, next week, what do we have? What's coming, Hoosier?
Well, next week there's 2 books coming out. There is Roku #4 and The Visitor #2, but we're not talking about it next week because we got something special.
What? Why aren't we talking about that next week?
Well, you know, if we're not talking about the current Valiant books coming out, there must be something special, like someone's sick or a vacation, or we have somebody really cool coming on the show, and we do. So Alejandra Arbona, yes, is going to come talk about Dr. Tomorrow next week right here. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. And we've gotten to read a fair bit of this book, and it's pretty friggin' awesome. Like, there's a lot of really, really cool stuff happening in this book.
Yeah.
It's such a, like, if you were waiting for a superhero, like a very, very superhero book, if Faith never did enough superhero stuff for you, this has got to be the book that you've been waiting for then. But I say that in a good way because I think that it's a different approach to storytelling. It's cool the way the characters are interacting. There's a lot of guest appearances. So we've all liked it. So
yeah,
you should like it too. And come back next week where we talk to Alejandro about it and ask your questions.
Yep. You can tell there's a lot of love given to this book and a lot of forethought about where it's at in continuity, what they're trying to do here. And I was pleasantly surprised. I actually went in thinking I wasn't going to like it at all. And I liked it. Done.
What I really like is what Josh was saying. I mean, this is a superhero book, and as much as Valiant is like, oh, it's a superhero comic universe, there's not a lot of actual superheroing going on. Whereas this very much feels like this is a superhero book. And if you put this in the DC universe, Batman and Superman would be totally involved. This would have to be a Justice League book. If you put this in the Marvel universe, you're going to get, you know, the Avengers involved or whatever. Like this is a large scale, balls to the wall superhero book. This, I feel like, from what we've gotten to read so far, I feel like this could be a really big, badass movie. But we get it with no budget constraints because it's a comic book, so we get to see the most badass version of it, and I'm really excited to read the rest of it and to talk to Alejandro about it.
Yeah, you know, and one thing I've been picking up from people is, like, not a lot of people, but I've heard a few people who are like, well, the guy wears a cape, so I'm not really interested. And I just feel like if that's the only thing that's keeping you from reading this book, you should reconsider, because there's a lot more to this story than just a guy who wears a cape. So don't let that be something that sways you in not to read this. It's a great read. It's a very fun book. But I also think it's the kind of book that we kind of need, you know, because we don't have those straight superhero type stories here. This is a universe that deals with, you know, the world outside your window, but people who have like super human abilities. Well, they're not always doing them for like the greater good. So check this book out. Check out Dr. Tomorrow. It's awesome.
Yeah, everything you guys said, all over again. Done. Yeah, see you guys next week. It's going to be exciting to talk about it. We're going to we're probably not going to spoil anything on it, but we will kind of let you know our thoughts and get some details from Alejandro. So if you haven't put it on your pull list yet, go do it.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
awesome. I want to say thanks to everybody who is hanging out with us. I know Scott Bloom has been hanging out with us the whole time. He's always awesome. And chatting, Chris B. Bacon hanging out as well. And Joshua Williams getting in the live chat. Just want to say thank you. Definitely appreciate people watching, interacting, and hopefully you're also enjoying the books as much as we are. And as always, you're more than welcome to, have your voice be heard. We like to interact with the live chat as much as we can. But yeah, thanks everybody for watching. If you're watching, listening after the fact, awesome as well. Hopefully you're supporting the Valiant books. And like Hooser said, we are going to see you guys next week. Signing off, I'm Eric Baumgart.
I'm Josh Rathbun.
And I'm Hooser.
I hope that you guys stay valiant.